Okay, so let's watch. If you never saw it before, you wouldn't believe it was real. Chad, what is that? This is my first video I'm watching from Geographic, and I just picked it because I saw this. That is you? Oh, brother. Dude, I don't know how to tell you this. I think I need a new mod. Don't laugh, please. Dude, I don't know how to tell you this. What is that? Like, it's like a horse that is not a horse. That's not a dog. That is not a dog.
Nah, cause y'all seem to think I know everything like I'm a walking encyclopedia, but if I'm being honest here, I know what that was supposed to be like. I had to go in the comments for this. And apparently that's not a deformity. That's actually what they're supposed to look like. It's
so it's like... So that one just had its mouth open, but it's like a goat of sorts. It's a goat of sorts. Oh.
Damascus goat. It originated in Middle East countries and is primarily used for meat and milk. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say God makes mistakes, but that skull makes me think his draft and post buttons are way too close to each other. Also, a Damascus named God won a prize for most beautiful goat in a contest in 2000.
Nah, dude. Nah, this won a prize for the most beautiful goat. Nah, dude. Nah. Okay. Nah. No.
Proving that some of y'all will lie unprovoked for no fucking reason. Y'all can call him beautiful, but tell me...
Dude, oh, I get it. That's the nose. I thought those were the teeth. I thought it had an open mouth and these were gums with the teeth there. That's how I saw it. Like, I thought that's the lip, the top lip. That's the nose. And this inside of the gums, just huge gums. Now I see that's the nose of it. With the mouth and the eyeball.
This goat thing crawls straight out the Goonies. They actually look somewhat normal.
Oh, that's a slutty goat, dude. What the frick? Why is she built like that? Yo! She got the built-in lipstick and everything, man. Dude, she slays with the sauce, dude.
Babies, but then I guess puberty hits them like Hiroshima. It's honestly the pug of goats, and
Oh, it's the pug of goats. Dude, that's crazy. It looks like a wrench. It looks like a wrench.
Truly mean that. And I read some comments on the internet saying, "Oh, he just wants love." I rebuke that. He wants my life essence.
Oh god, no, yeah, he wants your soul.
We got Barnyard and Dark Souls, and I do not like it.
Dude, no wonder people say that the demons have goat things, because these are real goats.
Could have sworn Satan took the form of a goat. Actually, this makes a lot of sense now. You know y'all don't gotta tag me in every animal video, because like, what do you expect me to say? Like, his existence looks like pain. And for y'all that are gonna sit there and tell me that he actually looks cute, I pay way too much for context for y'all to lie about what's in front of my face. Crazy thing is, this is the second most disturbing goat video I've ever seen.
He wants your Doritos. May I have your Cheetos, please?
Hello.
Look at him.
Absolutely not.
A known creature gives a New Yorker a heart attack.
That's a bat of sorts.
I both can and cannot fully explain what that is. It's called a Colugo, but it's also known as a flying lemur, even though there's somehow two lives
it's cute though.
They don't fly, they glide. Since they spend most of their lives in their trees, they basically just airdrop themselves from branch to
Average day in New York.
branch. And it's not a lemur.
Look!
Lemurs are primates, making them related to gorillas, chimps,
Yeah,
and
lemurs
punks.
can't fly.
But this thing isn't a primate. Whoever
Look, big eyes.
named it would probably name an atheist faith. They use that stretchy membrane called the patagium to glide like flying squirrels, and they can travel 650 feet without stopping. That's 200 meters or a little bit less than 2 football fields. But it's not a flying squirrel. There was a time people thought they were just God's rough draft of a bat, but Colugos aren't related to bats either. And if you look at the order they're in, Dermotera, they're the only living members. It's like pulling up to a family reunion and finding out you're the only one left. And because their entire personality involves flying, they're too slow and awkward to survive on the ground.
But that's so much bigger than I thought. Like, that is pretty big. I thought it would be, like, tiny. Skin butterfly? Please take that back.
For an animal that lives in the trees, they're pretty mid-climbers. They're so bad at life that being nocturnal is probably the only thing keeping them alive. Mother Colugos will carry their babies everywhere for the first 6 months, which made some people believe it was a marsupial, like some type of deformed air koala. But it's none of those things. So what the f*** is it? Well, scientists performed genetic analyses on them. Basically a 23
It has human feet.
or a flying carpet. And it turns out their closest evolutionary relative are primates. It's pretty much the closest.
They're monkey! Flying monkey! It's a flying monkey, chat! It's a flying monkey!
Can get to
Let's
primates
go.
without actually being one. Which means this dehydrated Dollar Tree chipmunk is more related to you than it is to an actual squirrel or bat. The more you know.
Anyone know what this is? Why you
Oh yeah, no wait, I know about these. Apparently, these are highly poisonous and you'll fucking die if you touch them. I mean, not die, but like, you'll have a bad time if you touch these, apparently. Oh yeah, it literally says, here's why you should never touch this.
That is Glaucus atlanticus. It's a type of nudibranch, but it's also known as a sea slug. It's
Hey,
also a
nude.
gastropod mollusk. I'm not finna bore you with a whole biology lesson, but gastropod means it's related to snails, and mollusk means it pulls up to the same cookout as octopus, squid, and cuttlefish. Also, touching one like this is a creative way of saying you want to pay more for health insurance. These slugs will eat venomous siphonophores like the Portuguese man of war and steal its venom to use to handle its own light work. It stores the venom in its tissue, so if a predator or a person gets too close, they'll get 50 shades of around and find out. Do I cuss too much? Like, I know kids watch me, but then again, they watch Family Guy before 4th grade, so I don't even know anymore. And just like the Portuguese Sorrel Scuffle, the Glaucus can still hand out painful life lessons even after its soul's already ascended. Basically, they don't need to be alive.
The rule of nature. If it's colored in nature, you should not touch it. Because the only things that have nice colors are poisonous to the brim.
To put you in the hospital. So if you see one on the beach, it's definitely a look, but don't touch. Because if anything's that small and that colorful, there's probably a good reason they don't need to hide.
Yeah.
Exhibit A. This blue vibe check can be found off the coast of South Africa, in European waters, off the east coast of Australia, because Australia, and some have even been found in the Gulf of California. They're also hermaphrodites that mate by sword fighting and stabbing each other. Normally in nature, the winner
They
gets
are
the female,
pretty.
but here the loser becomes one. The more you know. Here's a story of how 76 beavers were parachuted into Idaho. and yes,
Bober! Bober! Curva Bober! Dude. Does that mean that Pipi is poisonous? Yeah, dude. Did you not know? I'm poisonous as hell, man. I'm toxic! Have you ever seen me play Elden Ring? If you want to see me be poisonous, just watch me play Elden Ring.
that is a thing that happened. So in the 1940s, the people of Idaho had beef with the buck-toothed beaver population, mainly because their habit of taking down trees was causing floods in people's yards and damage to gardens. But because beavers actually contribute to society, unlike some of the people complaining about them, the government decided that instead of squad wiping them, it would just be better to move them to another area code. The only problem was the moving process for beavers involved putting them in boxes and Ubering them via horses and mules. This was the 40s, there was no beaver U-Haul. These boxes would overheat and the beavers would become so stressed that they would refuse to eat, and the horses and mules carrying them eventually got pressed too. It was a bad time for everyone involved. So they realized they had to get creative. And apparently creative meant tying the boxes to parachutes from World War II and literally airdropping them into the Idaho wilderness. But of course you can't just yeet a beaver out of a plane without being sure you weren't just committing beaver slaughter with extra steps. So they experimented the best and safest ways to drop beavers from a plane.
I didn't know Bober could be even cooler. I didn't know Bober could be any greater. Alice over! Thank you for the follow.
And the test subject they used was an old been-around-the-block beaver named Geronimo. You really can't make this up. After using old man Geronimo to figure out the perfect height and area to drop the beavers, it was time. August 14th, 1948 was D-Day, as 76 beavers were loaded into crates and flown in a twin engine where they skydived.
That is crazy.
And these furry paratroopers had a 99% success rate. But only because one of the beavers managed to escape and jump out of the box when he was 76 feet from the ground and took himself off the census when he met the ground. Other than that, the rest of the Air Force beavers managed to land safely on the ground and were able to crawl out the box and explore the new neighborhood and begin a new beaver life. And to most people, this
they got migrated. Bober migration, dude. That's crazy. Hiking Jay.
Peter wasn't happy about it, but you know, Peter gon' Peter. Also, it turns out each parachuting beaver cost taxpayers about $7 a beaver, so I'd say it worked out pretty well.
$7
Today
a beaver.
We have better ways to control the beaver population, but something about 76 beavers being airmailed and parachuted like some DLC just brings me joy. One of my favorite all-time animals.
Dude, imagine you're in Fortnite and the airdrop comes and you open it and it's a beaver.
Facts was that the CIA once tried to weaponize otters for some reason, because the 60s were a weirder, druggier time, I guess. But they were low-key onto something. Because otters are smart enough to use tools, tough enough to survive the freezing ocean without blubber. They'll square up and run fades with jaguars and caiman. I've seen them do it. And even though they look like plush toys, they have the power to seriously f*** you up if you give them a reason. They're like honey badgers with better swim time. So someone in the CIA created a report called the Otter Dossier, and I'm gonna read you my favorite parts. According to the Otter Dossier, they can be trained to climb ladders and stairs, can carry objects underwater, open zippers, throw objects with their mouth, and turn on faucets. They somehow figured out that a motivated water weasel can chew through a zinc sheet, and I honestly couldn't tell you how they found that one out. There's a lot of other stuff in there too, like how to properly take care of
That's the kind of animal you don't even think about.
Apparently they get diarrhea. A lot. But by far my favorite part is where they
Chat, coming out as an otter, you know, sometimes. Maybe I should be an otter VTuber, chat. I don't actually get diarrhea a lot. I thought it would be a funny joke. Okay, come on, shut up. They're gonna follow.
They say otters are easy to train, but they can become too devoted to humans, which can lead to their destruction. Yeah, honestly, same. The report also mentions that they're almost impossible to transport because an otter that feels confined can and will attempt to destroy anything trying to escape. The report also specifically says never to take food from an otter because, and I might be paraphrasing here, take their food and they take your fingers. And in fact, the exact quote was, never take food from an otter, particularly that which he has just caught or suffer severe mauling. Yeah, someone got really up for them to put that there. Honestly, if you have the chance, please read the whole report. I'm gonna put it in the comments.
Damn,
I mean,
these little guys, bro. These little guys mauled a man.
Fake and none of this ever happened, but it's so detailed, like too much effort went into it for it to be a lie. Moral of this video, otters are smart, nasty, and they give less than a prom night virgin. Basically weapons of otter destruction.
Turkeys performing demon ritual on past tense cat.
So there's actually a really interesting and complex reason why
God,
turkeys
past
do this.
tense cat.
Turkeys are
Is that what we call unaliving now? Past tense? That's crazy. Hello, Mr. Cutie.
so fucking stupid that it's actually medically fascinating. Like, they're not dumb enough to stare at the sky during a storm and reverse baptize themselves. That's actually a well-known myth. But they are brain cell deficient enough to not tell the difference between a threat to their way of life and an expired cat. It's likely the turkeys are curious about the past tense cat,
Kitty cat man expired past tense.
but too paranoid to get too close to the corpse because, again, turkeys have no idea it's dead and no way of knowing if it's dangerous. What you're seeing is a prey response that only an animal locked in the basement of the food chain can come up with. As for the circling, birds like turkeys, chickens, and pheasants will instinctively follow the tail of the bird in front of them. It's a behavior that
damn,
helps keep
so
them
they're
together as a flock,
stupid,
since holding
huh?
hands isn't really an
They're
option.
stupid.
So pretty much these turkeys are stuck in a never-ending cycle of follow the leader, but none of them actually identify as one, so they just keep going. And fun
Dude.
fact, this bird was almost a
So they
mascot of
stupid,
America,
huh?
since a guy named Ben Franklin thought bald eagles were cowardly scavengers that didn't deserve the clout. But if you YouTube what a bald eagle really sounds like, he might have been on timing. So yeah, turkeys are, I'm not gonna say they're stupid, but I'm not gonna say they're aware of the
They're
world.
stupid.
Someone asked me what I think the most underrated animal in the world is, and I instantly thought of this picture. Goats really do be goating. The bottom of their
Goats?
hooves have soft pads that contour to the surface they're climbing, which allows them to be a middle finger to the laws of physics. This isn't photoshopped. These are the tree-climbing goats of Morocco. They figured out that the fruits of the argan tree are an easy source of food, and when nature says climb, goats say hi.
What?
This is an alpine
Am I the goat?
ibex. They'll scale up the Sinjano Dam in Italy just to lick the salt off the stones and let
That's
the rest of the world
crazy.
wonder
They
how.
are
For y'all
sick.
that think goats are just some hippie free climbing sheep, they eat their Wheaties. Some male mountain goats can tip the scales at over 300
Why is that one buff?
pounds. A mountain goat once caught a fade with a grizzly, and it was the bear that got turned into a trophy. Got smoke for you too if you want it. Hikers have been warned when going through the Olympic National Trail in Washington because the mountain goats there have started harassing people. The reason is because
these
the
are
mountain
pretty
there have
goats, they're
gotten
not like the
addicted to
other
salt
ones.
and human sweat and pee, and they'll
They're
press
not like
you
a
just to
demon
get
one.
their
So that's a
fix.
bear. That's a
Peeing
polar bear mixed with a goat.
on a trail, and their area code is like a Batman signal to a fiending goat. One actually took a man off the census and wouldn't even let first responders get near his body. Those goats became such a menace that they had to be airdropped somewhere else. The
What is it with airdropping animals, man? Really?
media won't admit it, but out of all
Again?
the bears, cougars, and wolves, goats are the real G's, but like lasagna, they move in silence. You only have 3 seconds. If you can't find it, you're already dead.
What? I can't find it. Chat, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Oh god, dude, I'm dead. I'm already dead. I'm already dead. Oh god, I can't find it. Can you find? Is it behind me? No, is a gorilla in there? Is there a gorilla there? Chat, a gorilla? A leopard? I can't see a leopard. I see a gorilla. We're dead.
Alright, time's up. Here's why you always look up if you're under a tree in Tanzania. That is a leopard. Leopards
Oh, that's I did circle that, but it looked like a skeleton Dark Souls boss, not like a leopard.
are the best climbers of any big cat, and they'll stalk their victims from branches only to drop down
That
and put
is
them in
sick
God's
though. That's
recently
so
deleted.
cool.
And they'll wait up in the trees for hours for
That's so cool. Kitty cat, tita kitty cat, tita kitty cat.
the right opportunity to strike. And if you try to escape by climbing up the tree, that'd be like stealing Michael Phelps' wallet and swan diving into a pool. That's their home court. That's only one reason you should be careful under trees. Because leopards carry their meals up in trees where they don't have to pay. Oh my god,
dude, that's insane. It's eating its meal in the tree?
Lions or hyenas. And leopards are so freakishly strong that they can deadlift animals.
Is that a hippo? Or is that a rhino?
Up into the trees using only their mouth. Yes, that is a giraffe.
That's
leopards keep anything they can.
A giraffe?
Up in the trees, you can really become
a zebra?
Tag if a leopard's lunch gets airdropped to the back of your head. Which means at least once in the history of mankind, a child became an orphan because a half-eaten rhino fell from a tree and put his father in a Twitter bio.
That's crazy. A half-eaten rhino fell on his dad. That is not even the leopard got him. It was the rhino.
And when I say leopards will fly out of a tree to catch a body, I mean they don't have fall damage, or at least they don't think they do. Leopards have a hit list of over
regular
90
cats also don't take fall damage.
Different species of animal, and they're so good at stat padding that they'll sometimes accidentally friendly fire.
Oh! Dude, his meal fell on the other leopard.
Yeah, so fun fact. This animal sends more people to the ER than bears, wolves, and cougars combined.
Look at him.
The American bison is the heaviest thing with a heartbeat in North America,
Bison.
maxing out at over 2,200 pounds. They can also grow to 10 feet long,
Bison.
run you down at 35.
Zebra.
If you try to run from the smoke by hopping over a fence, a motivated bison can clear a 6-foot fence. Now, there's two reasons why this guy is seriously testing his life insurance. One is because they're pretty much legally blind, so like rhinos, they respond to anything that moves with violence. And two is because a bison is a great value meal for predators. Wolves and grizzlies have been known to smoke an appa pack, and mountain lions will target unaccompanied baby bison. That generational trauma means a bison is more likely to turn a person into a chalk outline if they get out of line.
They're
traumatized. The difference between a bear and an animal like a moose or bison is a bear looks at you and has to decide if you're even worth the effort. A bison assumes you're going to turn him into calories and will barrel roll you first. But because bison in national parks are used to being around people, they're usually pretty chill unless you get too close.
So cute.
Only problem is getting too close is how pictures like this happen. Someone had to go home with no pants and explain that she lost them because she couldn't social distance from a tank with horns.
Well, better to go home with no pants than not go home at all, man.
Don't do that. Because bison isn't
They
just a
trauma
name.
dump
It's what
you.
your parents are going to say at your casket if Oppa decides to turn up on you.
Horrifying sound of a woman becoming a hashtag.
Why? This is the sound of an animal, right? He's not just including the sound of a woman becoming a hashtag. Also, fuck, why are they so creative with these workaround words? Jesus Christ.
The biggest mistake you could make is going to save that woman. Because that's not a woman getting turned into a headline.
Knew it! It's an animal!
That was a female mountain lion.
Yeah! Never save a woman in the forest, chat!
Female cougars will often make these shrieking, blood-curdling screams when they're in estrus. It's like their Batman signal for getting laid. Answering that call when it's not for you is how you meet Batman's parents. Of course, I'm exaggerating. Cougars are way more afraid of you and will probably go the other way if you pull up on them. What won't go away are the bricks in your pants after you try to be a hero and make eye contact with this walking steroid. I know it's not related, but I'm still gonna mention it. Tigers have been known to imitate the sounds of their prey to fool them into a false sense of security before they turn them into a hashtag. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, this is a market.
Turn them into a hashtag is crazy.
And they do the exact same thing with baby monkeys. Now, I'm not saying the cougars do it on purpose, but I am saying that nature is a like that. Also, I forgot to mention that cougars tend to scream
Dude, this
while
is
mating.
such a... This picture goes so hard. It's like, me and Bestie. You know, me and who? I'm this one. Tag yourself. Hashtag tag yourself. Which one are you? Oh my god. Tag yourself. Yes.
So if you're ever alone in bed and hear a woman on a Tinder date with Joe from you, don't worry. It's just cougars getting more action than you.
Who is this? What is this? Is that kitty cat? What is this creature?
You know penguins will sell themselves, but like, in that way? Let me explain. This is an Adelie penguin.
Do they have gambling as well? If so, I'm ready to turn into a penguin.
If you hear a messed up penguin fact, it usually involves them. So basically, Adelies build their nests out of piles of pebbles, which means two things. Pebbles are a penguin's form of currency, and the penguin with the most pebbles is considered the most attractive. So female Adelie penguins will offer their bodies to males in exchange for a rock, and yeah, it's exactly what I'm making it sound like. Sometimes the female will give it up to a male in exchange for a pebble, even though she already has a mate waiting for her back.
Okay, but what if the female penguin does not offer her body, but instead she just goes live on Twitch.tv and just talks and watches videos? Would the male penguins also offer pebbles for that? Twitch Prime, you know, like the male penguins could really use their Twitch Primes on the female penguin, you know. That would be pretty cool, and it would be actually free, you know. Yeah. And they could also like and subscribe, you know, so they can push the video in the algorithm, which would also help the female penguin a lot, actually.
Scientists can't really confirm this, but it's believed the females do this so that if their mate gets packed up by a seal or something, they still have a backup. Doesn't stop there, because a lot of times the female will pretend to be interested in the single male, and right when the male thinks he's about to get it in, she takes the pebble and runs back to her actual mate. The best example I could think of is if you buy a girl a drink only for her to take it and bring it over to her man on the other side of the bar. Basically, these penguins pull a Cardi B, but, you know, without the Cosby part. And before you feel bad for them, just remember that male Adelies have been known to have relations with injured females, chicks, penguin corpses, and one even hooked up with the ground. To completion. Penguins are dressed as Wall Street brokers, and they have the moral compass of one too.
Thank you for the pebbles, shake meat. Thank you for the pebbles. Thank you so much. Let's go. We got a pebble. We got a prime pebble. No, I ain't saying she's a pebble digger.
Reminder that reindeer will eat this special magic mushroom that'll get them
thank
so
you.
high that they'll wander around aimlessly and make a bunch of weird drunken noises. And the mushroom's toxic to us, but if you drink the pee of a reindeer that's eating it, you too can get elevated and hella faded. Basically, getting R. Kelly by a reindeer will have you believing you can fly as well. The more you know.
These are the only relevant...
Wheel. That was interesting. That's my first casual Geographic video I've ever watched. Yeah, that was interesting. I've learned a lot about the animals. Fascinating stuff indeed.